All right, in the next 8 minutes, I am going to break down for you guys exactly what you need to know and how to implement what you know in order to have a successful product launch. Now, just to be clear, I'm not guaranteeing you're going to make $1 million or anything crazy, but I'm going to give you the frameworks you need to be able to launch a product, start to get sales, reiterate on that product, and eventually scale that product up that it makes you at least a good living. And when I say good living, I mean above average, 10,000, 20,000, $50,000 a month. Now, let's get right into it. I've been in business for 15 years. I have run companies doing 10 grand a month. I've run companies doing a couple $1 million a month. And the one thing most people get wrong is they don't know their customer. So when I first started in my business, in my marketing business, the first thing I did, I was like, I don't know what people want. I don't know what they need. I don't know what to do. Like I have this skill. I know how to do marketing. Like what do I do with this thing? And I was like, well, who do I want to work with? Well, I'm interested in long-term investing in real estate. Like I like this industry. It sounds interesting to me. It makes sense to me. Let's work with people in real estate. So I would go on Google and I would type into Google. I would type realtors and then a city and then the word phone number. And I would call them. Now, here's where most people get this wrong. They're like, I'm going to call and I'm going to sell them. Wrong. I called 100 businesses and I did this instead. I'd call, the assistant or the front desk person would answer the phone. So and so realty agency, how can I help you? I say, hey, my name is Jeremy. I'm a student and I'm doing some research for a report on real estate agents. Is John in? I just wanted to ask him 3 questions to build my report out. Now, notice what I said, by the way. I am a student, by the way. I am constantly reading. I'm always learning. So technically, I am a student, and I was writing a report. I had a little notebook, and I would write down what people told me, and I was compiling that into my research. This is called market research. So I was able to get past the gatekeeper where most salespeople struggle by instead of coming directly at it, I went around the wall. John would get on the phone. I say, hey, John, thank you so much for taking my call. I'm not going to waste your time. I'm putting this paper together. I'm writing a research report on the real estate market, and I'm interested in this and thinking about going into it in the future. Are you okay to just answer like 3 questions really quick to help me out? Now, I said help me out because human beings like to help each other. So John would say, of course. By the way, people like to have their ego stroked. They like to feel like I'm an expert. I could tell this guy a few things. So I'd say, can you just tell me like what is the average day in a real estate agent? Like what does that look like? Like I'm trying to understand like do you just wake up and people are banging down your door to close deals or like how does this work? And so he would tell me, well, no, the way this works is like I'd get up and have coffee and stuff. I head to the office, and then I do this and I do this. He'd explain it to me. So I'd have a deep understanding of how this person lives their life. Then I would say, well, what's like the best part of this? I mean, other than like making good money and stuff, like you sell a house, you make a good commission, but like what's the best part of selling real estate? And he'd tell me, "Oh, you know what's great, man? Like I get to meet people. Some of my best friends are people that bought houses from me first. Okay, friends. And then I'd ask, well, what's like the worst part? It can't all just be good. Like, what's the biggest pain in the ass as a real estate agent? Like, what's the hardest part? Or, like, if I was gonna become a real estate agent in a couple of years, like, what should I be prepared for?" And John would say, "Oh, it's this, or it's this, or it's this." And the reason I called 100 people was because I was like, I need 100 people to tell me. Then I have a research report, and when I do sales calls to sell them on my marketing services, I already know 50% of these people are all going to think this way. They're all going to say these things. So you got to understand your customer. This is a very sneaky way to do market research when you're just starting out. The second thing is know the 4 P's of the marketing mix. So that's product, pricing, placement, and promotion. And they're listed in order of importance. Product is first, figuring out what pricing works is second, placing, meaning where do people see this? And then finally, the last thing is promotion. So there's a paper that was written in the 1960s. The entire paper is free to read on Google. So I'm going to allow you guys do your own homework. Go read that paper. I'm not going to explain each of those out. When it comes to product though, and when it comes to pricing, understand product is based off of what people will buy and pricing is based off of what people will pay. There is so much software in the world right now where you can test different pricing that you never have to try and figure it out. Start with a couple of ideas and split test until you find where you reach maximum profit and maximum conversions. The third thing is everything you do in business is a test until it wins. Until the market tells you this is a winning product, it's still an experiment. So when I take on marketing agency clients as an example, I tell them up front, I'm like, hey, we're going to throw a lot of stuff out. We're going to hit on all these different angles. And what you and I think right now is going to work will probably be wrong. And that's fine because we're not going to waste a ton of money chasing one idea hoping we're right. We're going to test so many that the ones that really win pay for all the ones that don't. So understand this is a philosophy, this is a way of living, this is a way of running a business. This never changes. And then the fourth thing is be radically honest. I closed an $85,000 client yesterday, and the way that I did that was not by lying to them. I told them, I was like, hey, look, I put 4 hours into researching the company and what you guys are doing before we got on this call because I want to make sure that I'm actually in alignment with you guys, that I believe in what you're doing. That's more important to me than anything else. And and I told them, I was like, I know you guys said you want somebody who's like proficient in Google Analytics. How important is that to you? And they're like, it's not important at all. Honestly, we don't even care about Google Analytics. I was like, okay, cool. I don't know anything about it. I understand CTR, I understand conversion, I understand all these things, but like I've never used Google Analytics because everything I do has been on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. I was like, I'm happy to learn it if it's super important. Um, like literally over the weekend, I'll just research this all weekend long and learn everything there is to learn about it. But if it's not super important, I'll stretch that out over the next 8 weeks. So these 4 things, this is exactly what you need to be able to launch a new product and then to be able to actually sell it. And remember, this radical honesty, I know this is the last thing we talked about, but people will not be able to trust you if you can't just be directly, straightforward, honest with them. You don't have to tell them, I'm broke and I need this. You don't have to be stupid, but be honest. Hey, look, in order for this to work, I need to be able to do X, Y, and Z. And you guys will have zero problems when it comes to launching new products and getting them sold.